Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day. If this is your first time here, my name is Dylan James. I'm a mindset coach that loves to specifically focus on relationships. And again, when we're looking at mindset, we're really taking into consideration our nervous system, the belief system that we hold, the stories that we identify with, and really assessing and seeing if those stories, those beliefs, really serve the life we want to create, whether or not the way our nervous system is responding to either thoughts or things going on around us is attuned in a way that's going to allow for us to create success within our life. And if there's something incongruent with either of those things, really stepping in with the appropriate tools to make the proper adjustments so that you can respond to life differently, entertain new things, materialize behaviors that are congruent with the results you want to create within your life, and ultimately sustain new experiences that you actually enjoy, right? Because that's the point of life, is to actually enjoy it. So today I want to talk about something I haven't really touched on in a while, um, probably years. And that is the premise and the idea of purging and why nervous system regulation is so important. And I'm going to use an example of some beliefs that I have on my channel, specifically in the track called Becoming Emotionally Available. I have one for both men and women, whether you're attracted to women, whether you're attracted to men. And in that track, I have some foundational beliefs that are put in place. When I say foundational, what I mean is beliefs that really take past experiences and give them the proper adult context so that you are no longer holding on to negative childhood experiences that then perpetuate into different dynamics you have in your life. So for instance, in that recording, I have statements like I'm beginning to realize I always deserve to have an emotionally available father growing up. I'm beginning to realize I always deserve to have an emotionally available mother growing up. I'm beginning to realize that my emotions were always a safe thing to experience growing up. I don't know if I have that exact belief, okay, but something to that effect. I'm just using these as an example. So when we go in and we address particular beliefs, whether they're foundational or present day beliefs that we may hold about men, women, relationships, money, success, our abilities, discipline, whatever it may be, okay? Particularly though, when we're addressing beliefs that may have some emotional weight to them, a component to what can occur is emotional purging. So, in my opinion, all our triggers are when we are going about our present day reality, something is popping up. Our brain is interpreting that thing, relaying it back into our mind. There's in a very rapid process, a sequence of subconscious processing and comparison that occurs. So something pops up, it registers into our mind, our brain relates it back to our belief system. And if this thing popping up is similar to previous experiences that we've had, then our brain is going to reflect back onto those experiences and anticipate they're going to occur again. And if there's any suppressed or repressed emotions associated to those experiences, those emotions and ways of identifying come to the surface. So essentially what I'm saying is all your triggers are emotional baggage, suppressed or repressed emotions that you're holding onto from previous experiences. And this is really important to understand because it's not very fun to be triggered all day long or to struggle with triggers. And addressing this is very important. And so, again, when we're recontextualizing experiences that we've had, what can and most often occurs is an emotional purge, which means you are stepping in with nervous system techniques. You're addressing beliefs that are giving previous experiences the proper context and meaning. And as a result, your body is now feeling safe enough to resolve those experiences and release the suppressed or repressed emotions associated to those experiences. This is really important because this is how you let go of the past. So as you recontextualize the past, what begins to happen is you no longer relate to it. Obviously, you're still aware of it, but when you reflect upon your past, instead of it feeling like something that is very close and something that you relate to, it becomes more like a distant memory that you're aware is there, but there's no longer an emotional impact or tie to it. The emotional purging that occurs typically looks like this. So you're addressing your beliefs, you're doing your nervous system regulation, and oftentimes when people sleep with a nighttime recording on, that's very specific to what they need to address. The first few days they feel really good, and then as their brain starts to really take on the beliefs, they go through some emotional purging, which means during the day they'll be going about their day and then all of a sudden just randomly be crying for 20 minutes or get a bout of anger or anxiety. Now, again, this is your body now processing those emotions that have been suppressed. And typically, when this happens, there's not really thoughts associated to it. It's more just emotions coming to the surface. This process does not last a while. And the quickest way to get through it is to make sure you're staying on top of nervous system regulation so that you can process these emotions and your body continues to remain feeling safe enough to take on this way of identifying. I'm putting this video out though, so if this is occurring, you know what is going on and you don't feel crazy, okay? Because this is a very normal thing to occur. And again, like I was saying, it does not last forever, but the important thing here is you need to continue to stay disciplined with nervous system regulation. So when I'm working with somebody, typically what I recommend for them to do is build a nighttime recording that is very specific to the things that need to be addressed within their belief system and also resolves any foundational experiences that need to be resolved. That's at nighttime. During the day, you need to do at the beginning for at least 2 to 3 weeks, you need to do nervous system regulation in the morning, midday, and nighttime. Minimum, you need to do it morning and nighttime. Additionally, you also need to be doing daily meditations that address current intrusive thoughts and behaviors. And you don't want to change these things. So once you identify what to put in a nighttime recording and once you identify what needs to be done in a daily meditation, you need to build a routine where you consistently address these things. If you can remain disciplined with this, you will move through emotional purging triggers and really feel like a different person within 2 to 3 weeks. Okay, but you have to remain disciplined, especially with the nervous system regulation. So if there's a day where you want to take a break from doing a nighttime recording or doing meditations because you're feeling overwhelmed, on those days, you need to still do nervous system regulation. And the reason why is because even when you're not doing belief work, your brain is still processing the beliefs, and there are tons of subconscious processes that are going on where your body, again, needs to feel safe enough to take on this way of identifying. So the more disciplined you are with nervous system regulation, the quicker you will make it through this emotional purging, the quicker you're going to overcome triggers, and the quicker you're going to be able to show up differently, materialize new behaviors, and create different results within your life. All right. When I work with somebody one-on-one, if they are very disciplined with this, within a week, they will start to notice that their things that previously trigger them no longer really trigger them. They're manifesting new behaviors, they're responding to life differently, and people are responding to them differently in a positive manner. So, again, when it comes to creating change within your life, like I just wrote in my community tab, change does not take a long time. It takes accurately identifying the beliefs that need to be adjusted, building up a routine, and maintaining a level of consistency and discipline that allows the results to naturally materialize. You do need to be aware, though, that you may go through emotional purging and it's necessary. And you want this to occur because you don't want to hold on to any sort of suppressed or repressed emotions. This is going to greatly increase your daily quality of life because, again, it's not very fun to be triggered, but it's also going to prevent you from getting stuck in similar patterns and cycles because you're still identified with things that are causing you to get triggered and falling back into old ways of identifying. So again, the point to today's video is two things. Making sure you understand that when you're addressing beliefs that there may be emotional tie or weight to, it's very normal to go through a process of emotional purging. And the second thing is making sure that you are staying on top of nervous system regulation. The more you're on top of nervous system regulation, the faster you're going to process those emotions and come out on the other side. So to wrap this all up, pretty much what I'm saying is you need to remain disciplined. Okay. At least, of course, with nervous system regulation. And there are so many different ways to regulate your nervous system. I typically recommend things like breath work. You can do box breathing, you can do EFT tapping. If you search on YouTube, you can look up just nervous system regulation, yoga, stretches, again, breath work, somatic exercises. There's so many doctors and people on YouTube that have put out free content that you can use, and it's about figuring out what you actually enjoy doing for nervous system techniques, nervous system regulation techniques, so that you can maintain what you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy it, then of course, maintaining it and staying consistent with it is going to be a bit difficult. Same thing with daily meditation. So if you have a really hard time sitting down and meditating because your brain is just going all over the place and you're feeling bored or antsy, you don't have to do the stereotypical, like, let me sit here and meditate and be with myself. You can go on walking meditations. You can put affirmations on while you're cooking, cleaning, doing tasks around the house. I personally like to work out with affirmations, and I find that a really effective way to do meditation because when you're exercising, exercise is a really amazing way to regulate your nervous system. So you're already in a regulated state. So if you're addressing beliefs that may be potentially triggering because you're in such a hyper-regulated state, you can typically work through that resistance and persist in those beliefs in a way that is comfortable for you. So again, when it comes to nervous system regulation, or it comes to daily meditation, you want to figure out how you can integrate this into your day in a way that you enjoy. The more that you enjoy what you're doing, the more you're going to sustain it and do it. And the more, obviously with that, you're going to see results from what you're doing. The other important point to this here, though, is making sure you are accurately addressing the things that need to be addressed. You cannot be sitting here obsessing over people outside of you. You cannot be sitting here living in delusional land and trying to focus on everybody and everything but yourself. And you cannot be sitting here denying reality and trying to convince yourself something instead of actually addressing what is going on. Okay, so there's a huge difference between just persisting in results and making a foundational or identity change that's going to allow for you to normalize and create new results. So just discern the difference between those two things because what you're applying should begin to help you feel better. At first, it may be a bit uncomfortable, which is normal because you're going in a new direction. But if you're applying things and staying triggered and having the same patterns playing out over and over again, you are most likely not addressing things that actually need to be addressed. All right. So what you do does matter. And how you approach these things does matter just like anything else in life. All right. There's going to be certain ways that I approach something that's going to optimize my results. And then there's going to be other ways that I approach something that are going to prolong my process or not even address the things that need to be addressed. So just make sure you're really discerning what you're doing and you're not just sitting here obsessing over everybody and everything outside of you. You're actually focusing on making a foundational change within yourself that's going to allow you to break negative patterns, respond differently, and sustain new results in your life. Okay, so I hope you gained something from today's video. Of course, always, if you want help with this, I do offer one-on-one coaching. I'm only doing monthly clients now. And anybody that I work with, I expect them to be very serious about making changes, open to feedback, and genuinely applying themselves. I understand that my monthly coaching is a bit more pricey, but it's because I am helping people literally reframe and change how they're identified in particular areas of their life, which in turn is going to save them heartbreak, allow for them to create more money, and actually create a life that they love. So while it is an investment, it's a worthy investment because I'm pretty good at what I do. I'm not just going to say pretty good. I'm very, very good at what I do in terms of helping people identify and address and build routines that sustain results within their life. So if you're ready for change, if you're ready to overcome triggers, if you're ready to actually create a life that you love, if you're ready for structure and somebody to hold you accountable, I'm more than happy to be there with you and be an advocate and avenue and witness of that change. If not, everything is up on my channel. As always, I hope you all have a beautiful day, night, time, or wherever you are, and I'll see you all later.